In a world of press drops, unboxings, and exclusive event invitations, it can get really easy to confuse what is influencer marketing all about. So in this episode, we're going to get to the heart of it.
Influencer marketing is about getting recommendations from trusted sources.
So it has to be a person.
Has to be a person.
It can't be a puppy.
If a puppy can make a trusted recommendation or a recommendation you can trust, then I guess it's influencer marketing.
This is Under the Influence, a podcast where we ask one simple question about influencer marketing and we want to hear from you. I'm your host, Kopano. I'm a monfluencer and a member of the team here at Humanz. Today I'm going to be sitting with Chief Marketing Officer Pierre Cassuto as we dive into this question and find out what is influencer marketing all about, what it is and what it is not.
Influencer marketing, at the end of the day, is about moving products, about moving services, about convincing people to take a decision differently. Instead of influencers just selling a product, they're actually selling out the audience. Influencer marketing started because we wanted to look for other people's reviews and wanted to appear in other people's opinions and other people's reviews.
True. So get ready to pitch in. Down in the comment section, let us know what you think because you are part of the show too. Let's get into it. I have a very simple question for you, but please don't take it for granted. And I think when other people hear it, they'll be like, what?
What?
So the question is, what is influencer marketing?
That is a fantastic question. I think it's very misunderstood.
Yeah.
It's a great question. So I'm going to give you my definition, but then I want you to also tell me what you think about that definition and what maybe it doesn't include.
Cool.
Also, the IAB in South Africa has its own definition. So I'm not going to give the IAB's definition. Yeah, it's a little bit different from mine.
Okay.
It's a little bit different from mine because the IAB definition is pretty technical because it needs to be. My definition is pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Influencer marketing is about getting recommendations from trusted sources. If you're a brand, very often your advertising is not going to cut through. People are not going to trust your advertising because you're talking about yourself.
Okay.
Influencer marketing is about getting other people to talk about you.
So it has to be a person.
Has to be a person.
It can't be a puppy.
Can't be a puppy. Unless the puppy makes the purchasing decision or can convince you. Like, if a puppy can make a trusted recommendation or a recommendation you can trust, then I guess it's influencer marketing. But I'm not a dog person, so I wouldn't know.
Trusted sources. Okay. And I'm going to come from this as like a mom blogger. I've got kids and my kids are in my content quite a lot. I've only got a 4-year-old who can say, I like this and I don't like this. But it's almost like I make recommendations on their behalf. Do babies and kids count? Or is it always because... And the reason why I'm asking is like, okay, there are some people who are just like, no, well, I've got an account that's got my dog and it's only my dog and my dog only eats this. But at the end of the day, it looks like it's my dog.
But there's somebody behind the dog, right? So again, are people making decisions? But you asked about influencer marketing. You didn't ask about social media accounts. Influencer marketing, at the end of the day, is about moving products, about moving services, about convincing people to take a decision differently. And how are you going to make a decision differently is because you're going to see information, you're going to hear advice that's going to make you change your mind or make you believe a certain thing.
So it can be anywhere, any platform.
Can be anywhere, can be any platform. Influencer marketing is just word of mouth marketing. It's the same thing as word of mouth marketing. It's just that now with social media, there's a different scalability to it. Somebody that could only tell like the 100 people around them can now tell thousands or tens of thousands of people around them about something.
Because I think I made the same mistake as well. Everybody equates influencer marketing to social media. So how is influencer marketing different from social media marketing?
So I think practically it's become one and the same, just because from an industry perspective, we've had to classify it to something. So the IAB's definition of influencer marketing is about taking your brand message and having someone create their own content in their own words on their own social media platform to talk about it, right? So that's their definition of influencer marketing. And I think it's a solid definition because it gives us boundaries and guidelines around it.
Yeah.
But the essence of influencer marketing is not about giving somebody a script. It's not about telling somebody, here's what I want you to say, because then you might as well take a billboard.
Yeah.
It's about getting someone to recommend your product because they believe what they're saying. And so people will then believe them as well.
Do you think people get the definition of influencer marketing wrong?
I think it's really hard for brands and marketing managers to change how they think and about marketing and how they work day to day. Because how they think and how they work is They come up with a strategy, they come up with creative execution, and they come up with channels to place that creative execution on.
Yeah.
And influencer marketing kind of requires you to do it differently. You're not working campaign by campaign. You're saying, let me find customers who are happy. Let me find people who love my product. Let me find people who like my brand. And from there, let me use them to spread the gospel. Let me use them as amplifiers of their positive experience or their recommendation. And let me incentivize them, motivate them to tell other people why they should do it too.
Then I understand why the IB has that own in the definition, because it's their own platform. It's their own way of communicating that content or that product or that service that they're trying to refer to somebody else.
You can influence people with advertising. Like even if it's a TV ad, it can influence people, right? That's what advertising is about. You want to influence people's decision making. It's not influencer marketing though, in the sense that influencer marketing is a subset of those activities that requires getting somebody in their own voice to share their own opinion as to why people should buy your product.
Humanz is a platform that empowers both brands and content creators as well. If you're a content creator and you want to know how you can bid on the next campaign, make sure that you download the Humanz app. The details that you need to download are in the description. Now, if you're a marketer and you want to start working with the Humanz team or know more about the Humanz platform, then make sure that you click on the link in our description. There's a form that you can fill in with all the details that we need so we can get in touch with you and set up a call. Now, let's get back into the episode. I saw someone say, and this is like a popular influencer or thought leader when it comes to marketing, say that marketing is not selling. So is influence marketing selling, or is it something else?
I actually don't know how to answer that question. I'm the CMO for Humanz, and I think marketing is about marketing and sales. You can't have the one without the other, right? But I think we all think of selling as a dirty word. Oh, I'm going to go and push you to do this, and I'm going to trick you into doing this. And advertising has often been about trickery. What am I saying and what am I not saying? And as a consumer, I've got to go under what I'm not saying. But why people would flock to somebody's social media content about something is because you're hoping you're going to get the truth. And you might get, the 8 great things about this and the 2 bad things about this. And you're still going to decide to buy that product because you don't care about those 2 bad things and you love these 8 great things. And that's the difference with an ad where they'll never tell you what the 2 bad things are about.
True.
So is that person selling? Are they not selling? I believe they're still selling, even if they're telling you the 2 reasons why you shouldn't buy it. But telling you, in the end, even with those things taken into account, I still think it's a great product. You should buy it.
Do you think that there's a lot that is pretending to be influencer marketing? And I'm saying this from the perspective of, there's a brand, they give you a product, but you can't say bad things about it. Can you identify it as a person, as a normal consumer, looking at what you think is influencer marketing? Because I'm seeing an influencer with a product talking about it. Are there people and brands and companies pretending to do influencer marketing?
Well, I'm going to try to answer your question. I'm going to ask you a question of my own, right?
Cool.
I think that both sides are at fault. I think brands can't get out of the way of normally doing marketing, which is controlling message, controlling the one way that your brand should be seen, and not letting anyone believe there's anything negative about your product.
Okay.
So it's not anchored in the real world and like real kind of reviews from your customers, right? So they struggle with that. On the influencer side, on the other side, I think they don't control how brands work with them and what they're willing or not willing to say. And so very often it leads to, instead of influencers just selling a product, they're actually selling out the audience.
Don't you think that's a little idealistic though?
So let me ask you this question, Kopano, right? On your side, you work as a content creator, you work as an influencer, right? Would you ever go back to a brand and say, listen, thanks you very much for sending me all these diapers.
Yeah.
I really want to recommend them because they're great, but I do want to let my followers know about this one thing that I don't like about them. And I can't post unless I tell them the truth.
So I've actually done that. That's very interesting that you've said that. But I know that many of my peers can't say no.
But again, who's at fault? If we want to make the industry better, then we've got to, everyone's got to follow and elevate the game. And to elevate the game means not selling out your followers. And to be honest, there is a number of studies we've done. We see from our own sales data that honest reviews, honest recommendations that include normal language, that include normal positives and negatives about a brand lead to much higher sales than something that looks like an ad.
So you're saying influencer marketing is about honesty?
Hey, I'm not the one who came up with it. How many times have we heard about the word authenticity? But people think authenticity means a color tone inside a piece of content.
Again, is it not idealistic to think that honesty goes hand in hand with influencer marketing?
I think it's natural for brands and marketers, as I said, to resort back to, here's my brand message, here are the positives. My job is to convince people that these positives are real. And that is not how consumers make decisions. They take all the different signals into account. And one of those signals is other people's opinions, other people's reviews. Influencer marketing started because we wanted to look for other people's reviews and we wanted to appear in other people's opinions and other people's reviews.
True.
That's where it started. That's where it needs to live. Now, an endorsement can be active, where I'm reviewing a product.
Yeah.
It can also be passive, by wearing a product or by showcasing a product, by using a product, right? If I'm using it, then I'm telling you that, I'm endorsing it.
If it's good enough for
me,
me, it should be good enough for you.
100%. So not everything has to be me to camera speaking about the positive and negatives of something. But I think a lot of action happens in places you can't see it. A lot of action in influencer marketing, actual sales decisions happen in offline conversations, happens in DMs, happens in places that, marketers aren't used to seeing them because they're just looking at likes and comments and the like.
Yeah. How do we get there? I don't think we're going to get there. I'm just going to be honest. I know, there's a lot of brands that the managers, the people behind the brands believe it, but then it's about getting the entire chain to believe it.
I think you'd be surprised. I think we are there already for many, many businesses and brands. And the ones that are leading the charge here are the ones who are looking at the results of the influencer marketing exercise when it comes to traffic and when it comes to sales. So if you can do proper attribution modeling and you can actually measure which of these drove the most sales, drove the most traffic to my website, the most signups, or the most app downloads, all of a sudden you'll see there's a science to this. And the proof is in those numbers. It's beautiful to control your brand message, to do beautiful ads is fantastic. But at the end of the day, what are you really paid to do? Beautiful brand messaging or ensuring you got sales tomorrow, sales today, and sales tomorrow?
And that's a wrap on this episode of Under the Influence. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for contributing on the topic of what is influencer marketing. The show is not over yet because we're continuing in the comment section. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you leave your comment with your opinion. Don't be afraid. Be honest. And if you are listening on any podcast platform, then make sure you go to www.humanz.com, find our podcast page, and comment on this specific episode and let us know what you think. Until the next time, stay under the influence.